All right, now what we're gonna do is take off the rails underneath. First thing, you need these pry bars. These come with the machine, so hopefully you still have them because you're gonna need them. What you're gonna do is hold these. There's a bar right here in the back in front of your wheel, and it's got your springs on here that attach to the rails that run along the bottom, and they're bolted in the front. So what you need to do, get this down inside here. It is quite a pain to do. So get that in there on both sides. Wow, it went a lot easier than the other one did. And I'm gonna hold these in place while Junior here takes these two bolts out of the side. Once he takes them bolts out of the side, I'm gonna let this go and drop it down, and the rails will be taken off and done from this side. So go ahead, Junior. Just remember, it is spring loaded, so hold on to it. Okay, now that he's got them out, I'm gonna go ahead and lift up on this and just let it fall down. Just be real careful. Go ahead and take them out. And let your springs, let it fall down. And then we're gonna come up to the front up here and take it apart up front. All right, now we got the back on done. Come up front, and there's this plate right here. And you can see where the front of the rails are bolted on right here. So there's a big bolt right here. It's a 17 millimeter. We're gonna go ahead and take this off and drop the whole thing down. Okay, now that's off there, just kind of, just let it hit the ground. Now, we got room to work behind here, so we're gonna go ahead and drag this out and pull it back behind the machine. Okay, so here's my rails that were underneath. You can see right here, you can see the thickness, and right here how it's wore out real bad. Most of the time, this is where it is going to wear out the most, because it's rubbing there around the bends of the pontoons. A lot of times what happens, and what did happen to us, is on the other side is it actually broke off and it wrapped around the wheel. Luckily, this time when it broke, we were actually able to get out of the water. A lot of times this will break and it'll wrap around your wheel, and you actually have to drag the machine out. So we got lucky on that one. So what we're gonna do, got these nuts and bolts right here. It's a Allen key and a 10 millimeter nut on the other side. I'm gonna have Junior go ahead and take these apart, and I'm gonna take the back apart and take the springs off. All right, now back here in the springs, this bar right here is still good. So we were gonna keep that, we're gonna reuse that. So we're gonna take these springs off of the rails right here. They are pretty heavy springs, so it's gonna take a little bit of time to get these off here, but you definitely wanna take these off, and you know, just take your time. Try not to break them or bend them too much. All right, so that's that. Once he gets done that, we'll get the other one set in place. Okay, so now you see we got our new rails here. There's 3 of them. If you notice, the 2 outside ones are skinnier than the one in the middle. So you want to get this set up and ready and in place before you go ahead and do it. And also, make sure that you have the back and the back and the front and the front. The back where the springs go, each has 3 holes. Even the wide one has 3 holes for the springs. The front one has 2 holes in each. So make sure you get that in place so you don't start putting stuff together and realize you got them backwards. But the 2 small, thinner ones go on the outside, the wide one goes in the middle. And then go ahead and put everything back together. And another tip here is, if you notice the way these springs are, always try to make sure that they're facing the same way when you go to put them on. Makes it just a lot easier. You don't want to have put one on this way and then one on backwards. So always try to make sure you have them facing the same way. It's just so it's a little easier. All right, now we got it all back together. Go ahead and just reverse the way you put it back on. Oh, of course I go drop something. And it's got that bolt's got a little lip that kind of fits on there, so it kind of stays in place. So go ahead and get this back on in place. Go ahead and snug it down all the way. Now, this is the tricky part. This is the part that's hard. It's spring loaded. You gotta get it in place and hold it in the right spot so he can get them bolts back in place. I got it. There we go. Got it. Hold on. You smashed my finger.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Now, this one. Okay. Hold on a second here. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, now we're doing this. I hold this in place. He takes a pry bar, moves it back and forth, and gets it in the exact spot.
Up.
And then hopefully you can get it without stripping
Down.
it.
Up, Ted. Perfect. Down, Ted. Okay.
All right, get wait a minute. Get the pry bar down. Sorry. You can take upside down.
Sorry. Forward. Perfect.
All right, now we got everything back together. They got the rails back up on there, all the nuts and bolts tightened down. We're gonna go ahead and put the track back on. It usually takes a two-man thing, so just kind of reverse what you did earlier.